welcome to Green Angle, the show that explores the environment we live in and the ecological problems we face while preferring sustainable solutions. I am Ugochi Oluiwo. On this episode of the program, we try to understand the connection between green ideas or businesses, the academia, and the industry. As the world works towards a greener future, sustainable businesses play a huge role in driving the process, but the green business sector is hugely challenged. An important discussion in tackling the challenge is the role intermediaries can play in supporting eco-friendly innovations. Eco-innovation, which is the development of products and processes that contribute to sustainable development, include a range of related ideas like environmentally friendly technological advances that are culturally and socially acceptable.
Innovation is not new. It's just the idea of using technology or skills intellectuality to develop new products or services. You see, but when you say eco-innovation, the attempt is at addressing environmental challenges, whether it's water, whether it's land, whether it's pollution, whether it's waste management, as the case may be. You see, but eco-innovation as a concept is basically a process of developing goods and services to meet challenges of the environment, but using a model of partnership between the universities and industry. And I think fundamentally, the idea is to design projects that meet specific challenges using the platform of universities. I mean, and it's very important because it opens a basis for communication between industry, academia, and government. And interestingly, it's quite an issue because if you went to government, if you like, and the government says, well, we have the power, so come to us. And then if you go to industry, industry says, we have money, so you come to us. And you go to academia, academia says, well, we have knowledge, you come to us. And as long as nobody goes to the other, well, nothing happens. And so that gap has to be breached for products and services designed to solve challenges in the environment can be articulated. So that's basically what the whole concept of eco-innovation is helping economic development, access to increased jobs, skills, employment, all those elements, these are economic factors. But at the same time, reducing carbon emissions and helping waste management and all that process kind of miss the target. And the agenda is actually eco-innovation.
Historically, certainly in the UK, universities have often been quite isolated from the needs of their communities. We undertake excellent research, but often it's research undertaken in isolation. Equally, innovative businesses often have great ideas. They're the ones that really do have the good ideas, but don't necessarily have the facilities or expertise to translate those ideas into practice. So by bringing together university expertise, facilities, equipment, and then the innovative ideas of business, then we can really begin to make progress together. The centre is funded actually by the European Union, and it's the part of the European Union that drives economic growth. It's not to drive research, it's to generate economic growth. So they provide us with a core of funding, and that allows us then to put out calls to innovative businesses for them to come to us and say, okay, here's an idea. We get many ideas, and for every 100, maybe 90 aren't so great. 10 are good, and one is brilliant, and it's that one idea that we really want, and then we can work together to transform an idea into reality.
The idea connects people who are researching, developing, and innovating to address global challenges including energy, water, natural capital, resource efficiency, food, and waste to deliver economic, social, and environmental benefits.
We know from our work with the African Development Bank that they are really keen on sustainable green growth. That's where they see the major drivers for change in Africa. And the role of eco-innovation is a really strong one because it's based on low carbon growth and it's based on positive environmental impact. So you've got a win with business and a win on the environment, and that's what they're really excited about. We know from our years of working with different African partners that we are absolutely convinced that this can really make a transformational change. The idea of eco-innovation isn't sector specific, so it spans all sectors from waste to energy, sustainable food production, the importance of the natural environment across Africa too. So I think there's loads of opportunities for all sorts of businesses.
The Sustainable Development Goal showcases access to energy, access to power as a target, a goal that different organizations, countries have to reach up to. You see, but energy as a source, in Nigeria as a country has been reliant, if you like, on fossil fuels. Obviously, hydropower on one end. And it's becoming very, very clear that there has to be some level of dependence or access to renewable energy sources. And so that could be on different levels. What readily comes to mind is bioenergy. We have a lot of waste. You walk on the streets, you see waste. In different states, there is waste. But see, internationally, there are models, simple models of converting waste to a resource, to energy. So, but the point is, most of the time it involves massive investment, but it doesn't have to be the case. And so what we're saying is this: you need to perfect the models, if you like, of converting waste to energy as an example, but it will begin with research. What would you do for that to happen? Our waste streams is not the same as it's in the UK. So how much, if you like, an energy company does a waste have? There has to be research. How would you kind of do a process to kind of perfect in digestion to convert those waste to energy? There has to be research. And so my point is the fact eco-innovation provides a basis to start to have those conversations around research that has impact. Imagine if you had 100 students focusing on small research projects around fine-tuning the delivery of bioenergy. Imagine what the impact could be. But the point is, right now, that's not the case. You find students who go and study environmental management and they go and serve as an intern serving coffee or tea. Meanwhile, we have a problem of energy. So there has to be an attempt, if you like, to address these challenges driven through research, which is why universities become very, very vital. The problem is a test case. Africans do research. We do. That's okay. You see, but the point is, how many African researchers do research for impact? How many African researchers do research for patenting? If you take a look at the world patents map, I mean, the number of actual patents from Africa compared to the rest of the world and to the amount of research we do is very, very minuscule. Why is that so? It's because there is no understanding or integration of application of research at the point of developing the research. Most people do research for promotion. That's fine. That happens internationally. But the point is, you can do both. Why can't you do research for promotion at the same time you are solving a challenge? Which is the reason why it's vital to use the model where you're using students, the skill sets, to actually design projects that is to deliver a particular solution, either a product or a service, to meet a challenge.
The Center for Global Eco-Innovation was recently launched at the University of Benin, southern Nigeria.
We understand that it's unlikely that our models will translate directly, but we think by working with universities here, working with communities here, we can share our learning and hopefully deliver solutions not just for environmental problems, but perhaps some of the challenges around economic growth and employment. Because one of the other things that comes with universities is we can bring in students and we can ensure that when they graduate, perhaps because they've worked with business, that they have a different skill set to meet the needs of the green economy, not just next year, but in the decades to come. So we've worked with the University of Benin over more than a decade, and we have a lot of common interests around the environment. And when we were considering bringing a real global dimension to the Centre for Global Eco-Innovation, Benin was our first choice partner, really. So we will work with Benin, as I said, work in partnership to see whether some of the learning we've gained can be brought to the University of Benin to help their academics work more effectively with their communities to address their local needs and the wider needs of Nigeria. We really do share these problems, that many of the problems we might look at in Nigeria aren't just the same as the problems we have at home, but the same problems that are shared across many of the countries in Africa. And I think the African Union too have a real initiative around innovation and entrepreneurship to bring the power of business and communities to meet the challenges that we all face in the environment.
Lancaster University has been in partnership with University of Benin, And so it just makes sense for a logical progression to establish a hub of a center in Nigeria, but beginning with University of Benin. And I think new things that may take some time to catch on. And so for us, the idea is using a platform to showcase the fact that this model actually works. Now, you might have a model in the UK, but doesn't mean it would work in Nigeria or Africa. So we need a platform to test it, adapt it, adopt it as the case may be, and ultimately show a case that actually we can address specific issues around skills, unemployment, issues around environmental sustainability that the country faces, by using the platform of universities working concurrently, mutually with industries. And so I imagine on the back of that, it can open opportunities for more collaborations with other universities, and that's what the whole agenda is about.
It's an enormous growth market, so where there's money to be made, businesses are interested. And what we can do is accelerate that growth. So by working with the university sector, the businesses are able to tap into the latest technologies and actually speed up that growth potential. For a lot of small businesses, they don't have the resources to actually have an R&D department. They're too small. So by working with the university sector, all these businesses can immediately, just grow a research and development department in the university. So they are able to actually tap into resources and knowledge that they'd never be able to access themselves. But if they work together, they can actually very quickly make some real transformational changes to what they do.
So far, the center has over 300 businesses engaged, over 120 new products and services with environmental benefits, over 260 jobs created, and projected savings of 27,000 tons of greenhouse gas emissions, 46,000 tons of water, as well as materials that may have ended in landfills. It is bridging the gap between business and academia in West Africa and other continents.
And that does it on Green Angle for today. Remember to send your comments and suggestions using the addresses on your screen. And if you do have a green project or idea, send us a 2-minute video or photo and we'll help you share it with the world. I am Ugochi.